Okay, we're going to start modelling the nose now. So for this you're going to need a modelling tool. You're going to need some slip and a brush, and of course some clay. Now the nose, okay, you can as an idea of how big it is, probably about as long as your thumb. Now the nose, remember, ends right up here, okay, so you must make sure that when you do the nose it does come all the way up to just about the top of the eyes, okay, and you know, we can kind of make a mark of whereabouts we want the bottom of the nose to be. Now don't worry if it looks like you're going to run out of space, because we can always build a chin on later, and that will enable you to have room for the mouth as well. Okay, now to make a nose then, okay, what we need to do is get a piece of clay about the size of your thumb, and okay, if I just get this piece of clay and you can kind of squish it out, okay, so about as big as your thumb, and then we're going to roll it into a carrot shape, and we want it thinner at one end, wider at the other end. Now I tend to do this by rolling it on the table, okay, and you can see now by if I just roll one end of the clay like so, it tends to get thinner, and then the other end stays wider, so that's kind of what you're after. Now you may end up rolling a shape that's a bit too long, so if that's the case, you just nip a little bit off the end there, okay, and that looks like it's ready to go. Now you could tap it on the table, make one side of it a bit flat, so it's ready to stick on. Now to glue this on, to make sure it's attached properly, we do tend to use a bit of slip, so you can get either a modelling tool now or a knife. If your knife has little serrated edges on the back of your nose, you can just do some little teeth marks, okay, and that literally is to roughen the clay, and you can do the same again on your clay face for where that's going to be glued. Again, please make sure that you don't cut deeply into the clay at this point, okay, you're just roughening the surface. Now we'll get our slip, and we can put a generous amount of slip on the back of there and a generous amount of slip on there, and then we can place this on. Now as I just said a little while ago, make sure your nose ends all the way up here, okay. Now some of this is going to be blended in, some of the bottom is going to be blended in, and we're going to blend in the sides as well, okay. So I've got this like here, I'll press it down a little, and then with a thumb or a finger or a modelling tool, whatever you find easier, okay, we're just going to blend this into the forehead like that, and we're going to smooth that down until you cannot see any join marks. That becomes part of the skin on the face. Now under here, okay, we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to press down with a thumb or thumbs or fingers, okay, and you're going to press that in and then blend downwards until that join also disappears. And very carefully, you need to do this on the sides as well. Now remember, your nose has a ridge at the top, it's sort of like the flat area, it doesn't go to a point, okay, it has a flat area up here, you can run your finger down it for that, but we need to sort of blend these side bits in. Now you can do it with your thumbs, or you can do it with a modelling tool. If I just kind of pick this up, just so it's easier for you to see, okay, I hope you can see this alright. And we're just going to blend that in. Now you have to be super careful not to blend the nose into your eye, okay, because then you'll ruin your eye. So be very careful around about here, okay. And now let's blend that in, and again maybe using a finger or a thumb to smooth that off, and do exactly the same on the other side, of course. Now the last thing to do on the nose is to do the nostrils, so we need two little P's for this, okay, and literally just garden pea size, okay, roll them both out before you use them to ensure they're about the same size. I've got one bigger than the other, so I'll add a little bit more clay, roll that around in the palm of your hand there until you get two little peas, and these can be attached to the sides like so, okay. Now once they're pressed on, they're kind of right up against the cheek, okay, we can then model these in as well. Now again, you may need a modelling tool, you can just blend them in, okay, or you can use your finger. Alright, and then we can even blend it underneath the nose as well. So if I do the other side, and again getting rid of all join marks, okay, so the nose looks like one thing, it's not made up of several pieces. So there you can see now I've kind of got the basic nose shape. I've got my nostrils, got the ridge of the nose, it's all nice and tidy, okay. Now if we look at this from the side, you can see my nose, look at that, it's got a huge kind of bend in it, okay. Now you can press that down flatter if you want to, okay. You could leave it bumpy if you want to, might give the face a bit of character, okay. And if you're doing an angry face like mine here, okay, I've got my angry eyes pointing inwards, a little trick here is to pinch the sides of the nose, get your finger and thumb, yeah, and then just to press up against the nostrils, push up a little, and that will make the nose shorter, and it will flare the nostrils, and it will make the nose look a bit more angry looking. Okay, as if he's snarling back at you, okay, so that is a good little trick there. Now remember, we're modelling with the clay, so be gentle with it, it's very fragile, but you need to blend it and move it around as necessary, very, very gently, okay. Now you may need at this point to get a sponge with a little bit of water on and kind of smooth things down, but be very careful if you do not to sponge the eyeballs, okay, because you'll ruin this lovely detail you've got in the eyes. But there's my nose, okay, and my flared nostrils, my angry face. Now if you're not doing an angry face, you can just kind of leave it as it was, okay. So good luck having a go at that.